And thank you for the question, guys. You will have to come to me, and I will tell you about the secret prizes for you. Thank you for the nice questions, really interesting. Now we have the first fireside chat of this day with Victor Negrescu, member of the European Parliament. And please welcome Victor. Victor is an old friend of ours. I've just received a notification on Facebook, I think 1 week ago, with an innovation event that we had 5 years ago at Hotel Cismigiu, talking about innovation there. Interesting to see what we've done until there, but this is something that we talked about 5 years ago and we started to do now. So I invite Victor, please take a seat. I will give you also your mic. And let's talk about the European Union, the state of the Union, and of course, I think what everybody wants to hear now about the great programs that are now drafting and think have been voted or are still going to be voted. Can you tell me a little bit where we are standing now on this calendar?
Yeah, I'm really happy to be here again and to see this project evolving, and I would like to congratulate you for that. Indeed, today we are currently debating at European level about the next budget of the European Union, the next budget for the next 7 years. And of course, the European Union wants to focus on innovation and on entrepreneurship. Therefore, it's highly important for us to be involved in this debate, but also to be aware of what is going on. So,
exactly.
So partially, some things have been defined, but we are still on our way of actually deciding what we are going to finance in the future. So currently, we are discussing about how much money we are going to give to the European budget in the next 7 years. It is a big debate currently happening. There has been a discussion last week on this. The head of states and government from all over Europe have met. They still have not reached a compromise. Basically, they are discussing about whether or not they should allocate more money to the European budget, knowing that the United Kingdom has left the European Union.
Yeah, you've been involved very much with the Brexit deal right now, so it's a little bit, now there are some issues with that, but yeah, of course. You've been also there in talking with our Romanians there. How are things evolving on the Brexit for us there, to working for companies and everything?
So first of all, we have to understand that due to Brexit, we are losing 10 billion euros every year to the European budget, which means less money potentially for countries like Romania, less money for SMEs, less money for the SME instrument, or less money for Horizon Europe program, which is going to start hopefully at the beginning of next year. So we have to discuss about Brexit. Brexit probably is going to have also an impact on the companies in Romania working with British companies if we do not manage to reach a new trade agreement by the end of the year. So the impact can be high if we do not speak about that and if we don't understand the full dimension of what is going on today.
When you are talking about a trade agreement between Romania and UK, or between the European Union and
between
UK?
The European Union, it's a competence of the European Union, and of course Romania has to be involved in this. But going back to the budget, I think it's quite important. So basically, roughly the multi-annual financial framework, like we call it, the budget for 7 years, goes up to 1.3 trillion euros for this period of 7 years. If we manage to reach a compromise, and hopefully we'll do so, it always happens, it always takes time. Basically, a lot of funds are going to be allocated for research. So basically, we speak about 70 billion euros for the next Horizon Europe program, which is a program for research and innovation. We also speak about something like going up to 1 trillion euros for the Green Deal. And of course, here we need to mobilize money from the banks. We also have money allocated for digital innovation, less money than we used to give before. But again, we speak about, I think, roughly 9 billion euros going to digital programs. So that money hopefully will reach Romania, hopefully will reach you. So I think we have to speak about how how we can get that money here in Romania.
Actually, in spring 2019, we invited you to one of our events in Mindspace, and we've talked about the Horizon 2020 and the SME instrument. We are happy that many of our companies in the accelerator already accessed it, so we started to work and to apply, and we are very happy that we had some success with it. We want to do, of course, more. We want to practice more. We want to be aware of the next programs, what will happen next year. I understood that now there is also a big concentration on regarding the Green Deal, that's everything that's involved with climate change. Also in artificial intelligence, I would like if you can give us some directions. Where should companies and startups look, in which verticals? What you think it will be in 2020? You are there and you know better the trends.
Yeah, there are big changes going on at European level, and we need to adapt to that. So sometimes I'm frightened that we are in a sort of a delay in comparison to what is going at global level, not only at European level. So let me tell you some numbers. I'm going to give you figures also to understand the full dimension of it. So first of all, for the Green Deal, Romania is going to receive 750 million euros to adapt to the new changes and the new requirements in terms of making a greener economy. We are the third country in Europe in terms of funds allocated to EU member states. But again, in the next 10 years, Romania can get up to 4 billion euros for the green economy. Of course, it's not enough. But the European Union believes that by investing 4 billion euros in Romania, we can attract from private investors 6 billion more. So basically, we need 10 billion euros in Romania to adapt to the requirements of the European Union in terms of green economy. 4 million coming from the European taxpayers' money, and 6 million we have to get from ourselves, from private investors. And here again, this is a big, let's say, requirement, and it will be quite tough for Romania. What does it mean? Basically, investing in innovation in the field, changing our energy resources, changing our power grid, managing, let's say, the energy at individual level, but also for the big consumers, changing our administration also in trying to make sure that we deal with this topic like recycling and other stuff like that. So a lot of things from information, from education to the big investment. So a lot of opportunities there. In the field of innovation, there are, let's say, 5 sectors that are going to be highly invested at European level. Like you mentioned, is artificial intelligence. The European Commission launched last week a paper on this. They are still consulting, so you need to participate in that because they are going to define the policies on artificial intelligence for the next years to come. They want to finance at European level, and I wrote down some numbers, and I think it's important to be very clear, up to 3 billion euros. They are going to finance projects in artificial intelligence. It's not a lot of money. We are still lacking behind. At European level, the investment across Europe in artificial intelligence only goes up to 4.5 billion euros. In North America, they invest 13 billion euros. And in Asia, they invest about 7 billion euros. So we are still lacking behind in terms of investment for artificial intelligence, but they want to focus on that. They want to focus on supercomputers. Again, 2.6, 2.7 billion euros investing in that. In cybersecurity and everything related to trust economy. In digital skills, about 70 million euros, and they want to invest in e-government, roughly 1.3 billion euros. Here, Romania is doing a bad job, to be very frank. And of course, not enough money. But again, these are the numbers. And of course, we need to adapt to that, and we need to focus on that. In terms of research, they are going to finance very innovative projects. So Horizon Europe is going to be focused on, let's say, on projects. It's project-based type of financing, different financial schemes. Basically, they try to reach the big topics, like, for instance, fighting against cancer, another issue like that, where we need to work together on finding the right solution. So a lot of opportunities. What we need to do is, again, to make sure that those opportunities reach innovators across Europe and reach innovators here in Romania, because otherwise we are going to lose, let's say, this full potential. Like unfortunately we did on the SME instrument, we just started to learn how to apply for it.
Exactly.
And they are going to, let's say,
change it.
Phase A is not going to exist anymore, and we need Phase A in Romania. So unfortunately, it's good that we made some steps forward, but again, we are lacking behind in what is going on at European level.
Yes, you are right, because Phase A was, so the value was a little bit smaller, and when we talk about co-financing, the 30%, this is something that we lack here in Romania. And I come back to what you said about the additionality, the need to attract also investment from the investment funds, to involve also banks, to co-finance. So this is exactly what you said. We just started on the SME instrument. We've been successful in the first phase, but you could raise the 20,000 euro. But now we apply for Phase 2, which project will be between 1 million, 2.5 million. You still need co-financing of about from 500,000 to 1 million. And we need the venture capital. We need banks to invest, and you are right, we need to be aware of that. Would there be also some other, I've seen there are some other prizes with lower values that I think we can in Romania, but I don't know, maybe you can tell us, you can push further to have these kinds of, I don't know, prizes for us. What I've seen, sorry, just to talk too much, but that they gave us a part of the Horizon budget to work as financial instrument by the European Bank for Reconstruction in collaboration with banks. So it was like a financial scheme that included a small grant and also credit and some guarantees. Maybe it might be also a solution for us, but yeah, you are right. We need to involve more the private investors.
So indeed, of course, it's not only Romania, Eastern Europe and the new member states, if I could still call them like that, again, are having difficulties in getting access to those competitions that are being done at European level, because they finance excellence, and of course, again, we are new in this game, and unfortunately not being capable of attracting those funds. There are some good initiatives, like the EBRD financing solutions. The European Investment Bank was called upon also to try to co-finance more the project in the region. And of course, we have some good smaller programs like COST program that is basically obliging participants to get also members from Eastern Europe. So we think we have to push on that. But indeed, in the next years to come, the co-financing will be a key issue. So basically, if we used to have projects where we needed to raise about 20% or 30% or 40% even to do the project, in the years to come, probably the beneficiary will need to come up with 60% or 70% of the money, and the money needs to come from other resources. So banks can be a solution, but also money coming from the state can be a solution as well. Venture capital, but also pushing people to work together. I think this is here we have such difficulties. Earlier I saw, one of the companies presenting the digital hubs. Yeah, we have just a couple of digital hubs. The European Union is going to finance digital hubs in Romania, digital innovation hubs in Romania, but people are struggling getting people together and having difficulties to raise money for those hubs, because again, some companies are wondering, why should I give money to a hub if I can try to do it by myself? Unfortunately, this may have worked, but probably in the future we need to work together in innovating and developing together in the years to come.
Yeah, especially this is also one thing that we want to do in InnovX, is to help startups collaborate with corporates as a solution to ensure this co-financing, to have their financial strength also alongside the startup agility and innovation. And yes, you are right, we have to create teams and create hubs in order to develop faster. It's a very good point, and yes, you are right. I think we have a question here. So maybe if my colleagues can help us with the microphone, it will be wonderful. Okay, so right here in the first row. Let's see if it works. Let's see. Okay, you are. Yeah.
First of all, congratulations, because European Union is doing great things in terms of not just financing, but regulating also new technologies like AI. My question is, having all of these challenges of financing VCs and the whole ecosystem, have you ever considered to, kind of adopt technologies like tokenization so that you can help startups in another ways to raise money. In US, for example, they have some, under security, they have already started regulating this kind of forms of financing. Do you have a policy roadmap in the European Union that you can adopt this kind of forms of financing, and if yes, when?
Yeah, it's a big issue, the one that you raised, and unfortunately the European Union is not moving fast enough on this topic. Again, first of all, a lot of European innovators are going to US or even UK to get more money, and of course they are doing so, and of course by doing so they leave the European Union. In the same time, there are some positive examples across Europe that we need to multiply. For instance, Denmark protects innovators. So if you fail in your business, the Danish government helps you start again. So we need to develop such tools as well in the same time. We have in a couple of Nordic countries as well, let's say, co-funded programs by the state and by venture capitalists also to sponsor innovation in their own countries. In Finland has developed such new tools. So of course we need to move faster, and hopefully at European level we'll understand that. So if you all here have interesting ideas like the one that you address right now, I'm fully available in working together with you, in pressuring the Commission in doing that, but also initiating reports in the European Parliament. I'm personally involved in a couple of committees in charge of this topic, so let's work together on that and transform your clever ideas in concrete policies for the future, because again, it's not only about financing, it's also about making the right regulation. And of course, sometimes civil servants are not at all adapted to the realities on the ground to which you are confronted every day.
Okay, we are getting out of time, so thank you very much, Victor, for your great insight and information about the European Union. You can have Victor in front of the stage. So let's applaud Victor, really, and let's hope he will really negotiate a good budget for us.